September 3rd, 2025. The heart of Jakarta, usually a fortress of power and authority, became a battlefield of color, courage, and defiance. The Indonesian Parliament building and the iconic DPR was engulfed by an unstoppable wave of pink and black. The sight was unforgettable. Thousands of women, shoulder to shoulder, marched with determination. They wore pink as their battle color, black as their shield of mourning, and they carried in their hands not stones, not weapons, but brooms and simple sapu lidi. Yet those brooms carried a power stronger than steel. They were a symbol, a declaration to the nation. But we will sweep away corruption, injustice, and violence. The protest was led by the Indonesian Women's Alliance. Their voices thundered through megaphones, echoed by chants, and amplified by banners that screamed for justice. A command vehicle stood at the front, serving as a moving stage where speeches were delivered, not only in words but also in sign language, ensuring that even the most silenced among them were included in the roar of defiance. The demands were crystal clear, and they cut like lightning across the storm. First, pull the military and the police out of civilian matters. The crowd roared with fury at what they described as decades of state control, intimidation, and abuse. Second, end the violence under President Prabowo's government. The women accused the state of silencing dissent, of punishing those who dared to speak out. Third, and most explosive, forced the national police chief to resign. Now, alongside it, they demanded the unconditional release of every detained protester, calling the arrests illegal, unjust, and intolerable. The atmosphere was electric, but it was not chaotic. This was not anarchy. It was discipline, power, and solidarity. Every broom raised in the air became a weapon of symbolism. Every pink shirt became a statement that women would no longer be ignored, no longer be silenced, no longer be used as a backdrop in a theater of politics. The clash was not physical, but the tension was undeniable. A line of polished women stood guard, matching the protesters in numbers, but not in spirit. Between the two groups, silence often cut deeper than shouting. It was a silent standoff, a battlefield of willpower, where one side held shields and the other side held brooms. Hours passed. The speeches grew bolder. Some women wept openly, grieving lives lost to violence, while others clenched their fists, chanting louder and louder. They sang songs of resistance. They raised slogans that shook the very walls of the DPR. And then, finally, the command vehicle moved, a signal that the demonstration had reached its conclusion for the day. Slowly, the sound of megaphones faded. The chants softened, and some of the crowd began to disperse. But many women did not leave. They lingered on the steps of Parliament, standing in silence, standing in defiance. Their message was unmistakable. But this is not the end. This is only the beginning. The pink tide had receded for the day, but it left behind a warning written in the air, that women's voices are rising, that their brooms are not just tools of cleaning, but weapons of change. The world watched as the Indonesian Women's Alliance turned Parliament doorstep into a theater of resistance. And one question now echoes across Indonesia: will those in power listen, or will the sea of pink return, larger, louder, and fiercer than ever before?